and welcome everybody to today's episode of the Angelic Footprints podcast. I have a very special guest with me today. Her name is Jackie Rubio. Now, Jackie has been through hell and somehow she's still standing because she's faced the murder of her son, Devyne, the betrayal of court systems that have failed her, and the gut-wrenching loss of the contact with her grandson. She knows firsthand that life is messy, unfair, and sometimes downright cruel. She's a recovering alcoholic, a single mother, and a woman who has stumbled, screamed, cried, and yes, cussed her way through the chaos. But she's also learned something powerful. Love doesn't care how broken or lost you are. Your connections with the people you care about, whether they are dead or alive, I prefer to say past, but either is good, will find a way to reach you no matter what. Her life is proof that even when the world tries to break you, you can rise, love, laugh, and live fully. Jackie, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. I'm feel honored to be here on your platform and speaking to your audience. And what a beautiful introduction. I really appreciate that. My name's Jackie Suzanne Rubio, and I'm actually coming to you from the easternest tip of Eastern Oregon, where it gets super cold in the winter and it's super hot in the summer. We're in the high desert here. And a little bit about myself. My my oldest son, Devin, was murdered, 3 years ago, and that in itself just started me on a journey of seeking, of this desperate attempt to know where my son went after his body was gone from this earth. And in in that seeking and in that just need to know. I had to know. I just couldn't let it go. I found so many beautiful um blessings. I found that there is so much more out there than what our physical eyes and our ears and what we can see, smell, touch, feel. There's a whole world out there around our world. A little bit about me as I'm also a recovering alcoholic. I've been sober for over 5 years, and I stayed sober through the murder of my son, through all the court system betrayals, and I did it with the help of so many beautiful angels.
Wow. And by the way, I can hear in the background you must have a rooster or or some chickens or something in the background because it's like they're giving us the welcome and the good morning and the hello. What time is it where you are at the moment?
It's 9:37. I didn't realize. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you could hear the rooster and the chickens. Yes, I mean, we have 20 acres out here, so we have chickens, and I have the most darling pig you've ever met in your life, who also runs around out here, and a horse, and we have several animals. So, yeah, they're saying good morning. We have had one of the nicest winters I think this area has ever had, which is a blessing. I usually leave and go to Texas during the winter. And this winter, I just found myself
Right.
I just wanted to stay home. I just wanted to stay here. And yeah, so I picked a good winter to stay. It's been really nice weather. The sun just came out from it raining. And so the rooster's letting us all know that it's morning time.
Well, definitely. I was picking up on that in the background and I just thought, you know what? That is such a lovely sign to have that welcome. So, welcome to your beautiful animals onto the program as well. Let's talk about angels, though. And you've told me about a number of angelic experiences. Would you like to share those with our listeners and viewers, please?
Yeah, so I think I want to go back. One of the first real concrete signs that there were angels around me. Um, it was after Devin passed, and I mean, I was grieving so hard. And then as an alcoholic mother, I was, in guilt and remorse for the way that I'd raised my children, and to have one that had passed, it was so severe. And I was somewhere, and I was crying I was just crying and crying and crying. And then I felt just this most beautiful protective presence. And the tears, I mean, these tears were big alligator tears. They were streaming and they just stopped and they just froze on my face. And I just felt this overwhelming sense of protection, overwhelming sense of love. And I don't have a lot of experience with um angels or archangels. I mean, I just knew that it was Archangel Michael. And I just remember crying out. I felt so unworthy of having his presence in my life, of having his, energy around me. And I remember just like trying to push it away and thinking how undeserving I was. And I just heard this voice is so loud and just booming in my mind. And he said, "Child, you are worth protecting." And I don't know how to explain that, but all the garbage in my life, all the trauma from childhood, all the trauma that I'd lived through as an adult, it seemed to just dissipate for at least the briefest moment. And I just thought my self-esteem just came online like full force. Like I am a human that's worthy of love. I am a human that's worthy of forgiveness. I am worthy of forgiveness of myself. And I don't know without that piece early on that I would have been able to go through the journey that I've been on of, self-forgiveness, of self-discovery, of, a relationship with my son and my loved one after they pass from this world, or a relationship with other angels. So I just think that
Yeah.
that's the biggest first start of what I felt as an angelic presence.
That is an amazing story, Jackie. And the way that Archangel Michael told you, you are worthy. This is a conversation I had with another guest who came on the show and who also had a similar message come through. And the message was very clear. We are worthy of having angels in our life. And thank you so much for reinforcing that beautiful message. Tell us a little bit about some of your other angel experience, because I know that there was one with Archangel Raphael as well.
Yeah, so I will say early on in my journey after Devin passing, I found the beautiful gift of Reiki. I was given Reiki by another mom who'd lost her son, and it was the first time that I'd felt peace or a reprieve from the thoughts and the nightmare of what I had been going through and the loss of Devin. So I immediately said, I've got to, I don't know what this is. I've got to learn this. I've got to do this for other moms. It was just like really uplifting. And I did start to, get attuned for Reiki and perform Reiki. And again, I didn't really have a lot of knowledge of the angels or the angelic world. And I knew that Archangel Raphael was a healing angel and that a lot of people did speak about him in their Reiki sessions. And I had been giving a Reiki session to a mom that was in deep, deep grief. And I went to do some work on her heart chakra.
Mhm.
And I felt like uh, my whole heart just shattered because I felt her grief so intensely. And then I just felt this presence. And I felt, it's so strange to say this, but I felt the color green. I mean, I didn't see it with my eyes. I don't know how come I felt the color green and I felt this love and I felt this presence and I felt it reach into her heart chakra and remove some of her pain, some of her grief. And when it did that, it felt like it was removing some of mine. And I was thinking, is this Archangel Raphael? Is this an angel? Like, what happened? And as soon as I finished her session, was doing it with her on Facebook Messenger. I shut off, pushed the end button, and the first thing I actually have it documented. I have a picture of it on my phone. The first thing I saw was, "You are a powerful healer like Archangel Raphael." And it was a picture of him. And so I thought, is that a sign? It does, does that mean that, that is Archangel Raphael doing the healing? And I went on about my business and I actually I got a Reiki master, Reiki teacher attunement. And I had come after that attunement, and I just remember I was thinking to Archangel Raphael, I was asking him, I was said, if you are coming into my Reiki sessions, can I please feel your energy? I want so I could confidently say Archangel Raphael is doing the healing. And I just remember
Yeah.
I was meditating, and I had just gotten attuned for my Reiki master, and I was lying there and I was asking in my mind over and over again, Archangel Raphael, can I feel your energy? I want to, I want to be so authentic. I never want to tell somebody Archangel Raphael's doing a healing on you if I don't know that. So I was saying over and over again, Archangel Raphael, let me feel your energy. And I didn't know what I was asking. And I'm telling you, I got this power, this a massive amount of power. It went through my forehead and down into my body. And I was lying on the bed meditating, and it lifted my body up, not like weird possession wise, but it made it so I sat up, and it was, I won't lie, it was so powerful, I was so scared. And I was praying and telling the Archangel Raphael that I thank you so much. I was like, and I was so sorry, his tears were coming out. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I'm so afraid. I'm sorry, I'm so afraid. And but I could still feel love, and I could still feel like I was being taken care of, but it was very overwhelming. It was very powerful. And then it allowed me to lay back down, and then he came back and he pulled me back up. And again, I was saying, I'm sorry, I'm so afraid. And I just was crying and telling him how much I loved him and like how amazing like this experience was. At the same time, I was so scared. And I got lied back down on the bed. And as soon as that part was over, I was filled with the most beautiful peace. It's like I had never made a mistake in my entire life. Like I had never done anything wrong my entire life. It's like nothing bad had ever happened to me, my child, my family. I mean, it was the most peace I I can possibly ever imagine feeling or thinking. Um, and it was happening after that power let me back down. And um, I know that that was Archangel Raphael. I know that that's an experience that I was meant to have so that I would have more confidence and be able to go on and do my healings. Archangel Raphael is a huge part of my Reiki practice. I do I do a lot of healings for people that are in deep grief, and um, I meditate with Archangel Raphael. I do sometimes still ask to feel power, but I am always very careful about tell them I don't need that much power to feel that much energy. I just would like a little piece of the energy. um, and so I make these beautiful sprays, Reiki sprays, and I know Archangel Raphael. I just meditate with him, and I could see like the energy that he puts into, the sprays that I'm meditating over, and I can see the energy he puts into people's heart space and chakras and does the healing. And Archangel Raphael also shows me if I'm healing somebody, if they are also a healer. I mean, there's a certain sign that he can show me, when I'm doing healing on them. He shows me that they're a healer, and he stays with them after I do the Reiki session.
Jackie, listening to your story, it's so raw, and that is what makes it so special. You went into this work with so much faith and so much love and support behind you from the angels. It's like that they just pulled you and gone, yep, we'll have that one and we'll take her and we'll use her to help other people. And you've had the utmost faith to be able to go with it. It's such an impactful story. And thank you so much for sharing that. I was going to ask you how has that influenced your life, but you've already answered that. It sounds like you use the angels in your life all the time. Is there anything that you could add to that though? Is there, in terms of your clients, is there anything else that do you use any of the other angels, or primarily archangels Michael and Raphael, or even guardian angels? Do you know if there's other angels that come in as well?
So I Archangel Michael is a bit, I don't know why, but he steps into my healings when someone has a blocked throat. If their throat, I don't, that seems to be Archangel Michael's, like, his domain. Archangel Raphael is with me every healing. And I feel that I definitely have had some visitations from other archangels, and I went and did a life between life, past life regression, and there were hundreds of angels with me. They were telling the practitioner she has hundreds of angels around her. And that's one thing I'm so grateful for, because um people in spiritual contexts and stuff, and I know as soon as I was a grieving mother, you get told that if you're in grief, or, and also I had a murderer that ended my son's life that I had to somehow live with, and, try to, get through that kind of hate and that kind of rage. And you get told that, you have to have a high vibration in order to get signs from your child, or, to get spiritual guidance or messages. And I have to tell you, I feel like that's bullshit. I feel like the angels, the archangels, like, they love us so much, and they know that we're human, and they know what we go through, and they do not allow that to stop them from coming to us, for stop them from having a relationship with us. So I think that that's been maybe the biggest piece of how I now move through the world, is that I allow myself to be the human that I am, but I don't stop that from being able to connect to my higher guidance, to the archangels, to the angels, to my guardian angels, to my guides, to my son that's passed on the other side. And so I think that's a gift that I wish everybody could get. I wish everybody could understand that we are here for the experience of it, all of it. The hate, the bitterness, the mistakes, the regrets, all of it. We're here for all of it. And the angels don't leave us because we're having those experiences. The angels, as a matter of fact, I feel, are drawn more to us, and that they're willing to be there for us more and carry us. So
Yeah.
that's one way that I think I've lived through, um, walked through with the help of my angels and the angelic um world. Yes.
I love how you help your clients and you call the angels in and they're there to help you. I also love your message to everybody, that the angels want to work with us, they want to be with us. And what you said was so powerful about, and I myself have done a life between life hypnotherapy as well, a past life regression. And I, like you, I had the angels come in. It was just this most amazing light that came in, and I knew it was the angels all around me, and that was what that particular session was about, because I have had a few. And it is such a powerful experience when you have that connection. And you're right, I wish that for everybody as well. And the fact that you said too, they want to be around us. And yes, we are here for all of the tough times, all the grief, all the anguish, all the challenges. And knowing that we've got spirit and the angels on our side is such a beautiful, beautiful message. Thank you, Jackie. Thank you for sharing that. I know that in your bio that you sent me, you told me about a book. Would you like to tell our viewers and listeners a little bit about your book and maybe how they can get a hold of that book? Because it's such an amazing story as well, very deep and very impactful.
Yes, thank you for remembering that. I did write a book. It's called From Murder to Messages, and it was, I would say, definitely co-written with my son on the other side. Early on in my journey, he was showing me the cover of the book. He was, there, I automatic write with him, and I've automatically wrote with the angels before, a few times actually now. And so he was showing me little brief things that would be going in the book, and I wrote the book. It covers, his murder. It covers the real life situation that I lived through. but then it covers the communications. And I did write about Archangel Raphael and about my experience with him in the book as well. It covers, you know, how I became a Reiki master. I also do quantum healings. So it kind of covers my relationship with my quantum guides, with angels. It talks about all the resources. So um, how I made it, how I stayed sober. I always want people to know that there's hope for themselves or their loved ones. If I can stay sober through the murder of my son, anyone can stay sober. And it talks about how the resources that I use to do that, the things that worked for me, the past life regression, things like that. It's a powerful book. I want it. It's not. It's not a memoir. It's not a very long book. I really specifically know what it was like for me when I was in deep grief. I couldn't read anything, so I try to keep it very easy to read. Other than the hard part of the story, it is emotional, but I also tried to make it so that it didn't overwhelm the reader with just sadness. That there was hope afterwards, inspiration. And there's some automatic writing in there from my son. And yeah, it's a beautiful book. It's on Amazon. It's called From Murder to Messages. Anybody can pick it up on Amazon. And then also I do have a great website. It's JackieSuzanne.com, where people can, email me. They subscribe. They can get some of the free automatic writing messages, some free healings that I do monthly on my Facebook page. And I'd love to hear from y'all.
Oh, Jackie, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And to all our listeners and viewers, if you are experiencing any kind of grief or trauma, maybe reach out to Jackie as well, whether it's through her website, if you get to read her book, through her socials. I'm sure that Jackie will have some powerful techniques that she can use to help you and to move into a more state of being of peace. And if you are drawn to buy her book, I know that there'll be a powerful message in there that you will be able to take away and help to heal. Jackie, thank you. Thank you for the beautiful impact that you are having on the world. It's such a sad story about your son, but you have come out the other side. And thank you for sharing your stories about the angels. Are there any final messages that you would like to share before we finish up today?
I think that the final message for anyone who's listening, it's from Devin. Tells me he always wants people to know that there is really truly nothing but love. Like, we live in on the earth, and it's so dense and it's so heavy and it's full of heartache and decisions. But he wants me to know, tells me constantly, and tells me to tell especially other parents whose children have passed, that this is really just temporary. It's like a blink of an eye. And boom, we are back to our home, and it's truly only love. And so I encourage anybody who is going through hard times right now, to understand that this too shall pass, and that when the true reality is, it's only love.
Jackie, that is an amazing message. And for our viewers and listeners, I hope that you do take that and on board. And as Jackie said, we are here just in the blink of an eye and then we're gone. So, absolutely correct. Thank you so much for being on the show, Jackie. Thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge. It's very much appreciated. For all our listeners and viewers, thank you for tuning into the show. If you enjoyed the program, then please share the show with 3 people who you know would benefit from it. If you really did want to share more information about the show, then please consider leaving a 5-star review on the platform where you are listening, because the more you love it, the more others will get to love it as well. In the meantime, blessings, and may your life be filled with hope and inspiration.